My entire social media stream, all of it, is infected with Chinese propaganda.
You do want to be Chinese.
It's probably because they know I'm very influenced by it.
You're easily influenced by this, but you want to be influenced by this.
I know. It's like what I imagine they talked about the United States being to like the rest of the world until like 2012.
When we went onto the moon.
The shining beacon on the hill.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's the future. That's how I feel about China.
别墅里面唱 K， 水池里面饮龙鱼，我送阿叔茶具。
No, they have a lot of propaganda. It's a psyop.
I don't know. There's a lot about it that's definitely not just propaganda.
It's a psyop, but also I feel that Americans want to be something. Like, we know there was a time when you could be proud to be American. We remember it. A lot of us remember it when we were like little. When Michael Jordan was around. Since Jordan retired, it's been downhill.
And I think, well, yes, culturally, the culture is trash in America. Can we agree?
Yo, what about the reality TV? People get down on American kids so badly, but I'm like, yo, we have had reality TV as like a staple. We're going on 25, 26 years.
So
it's a whole generation
So
lost.
we can't agree. The culture is trash. We are not making...
It doesn't have to be, but it is.
Our movies are not what they used to be, except in the horror genre, thank God.
Horror's holding on.
The only thing doing interesting things, there's a couple good dramas every year, but for the most part, Jurassic Park. Somehow we peaked and forgot how to make movies after Jurassic Park.
It just goes downhill since the first Jurassic Park.
I guess. I mean, you got The Matrix, and then, it was at 99?
Was this 99?
Like, after the 90s, and then maybe like a trickle into the 2000s, we just forgot how to make like a completely approachable to everyone, just compelling, just all-encompassing movie that ticked action boxes, but was also like a fully like functioning, phenomenal movie.
I will not hear you badmouth Jason Statham like that.
Jason Statham's still doing it, however, he's not doing Jurassic Park.
He's not a Schwarzenegger.
No.
Some of our greats retired and became governor of California.
And look how that turned out. But no, culture's trash.
All right.
I would say
I'll concede to move on with the conversation. I concede.
Even the most patriotic Americans have in the back of their head that everything is a scam and every single facet of our lives has been commodified and every institution is trying to suck every last dollar out of you, an American.
What I love is that we moved to a very pro-American place. It's in the north, but it's still very pro-American.
So
There's American flags everywhere.
Yes.
And still, when you start a conversation with people who wearing an American flag hat are like, look, let me first say a disclaimer, but still I like America. Like, why are you starting with a disclaimer? It's the 4th of July. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, we moved from Los Angeles last year to the middle of nowhere. Still New York, but very purple, very rural New York.
People have the wrong idea about people in Los Angeles and people in New York and people in the Northeast. It's like, you're talking about people in cities. Once you go outside of the cities, people are much more purple, much more sane.
And my third point is we can't make anything in America anymore. We can't accomplish anything as a group. We can't build anything. It costs, what, $100 million? No, maybe $1 billion something to build a trolley in Los Angeles to the airport. To a broken airport. Los Angeles, the LAX is garbage town.
You fly in and out a lot. Honestly, you could have given me any number for that trolley, and I would have said, yeah, that's how much it cost. You could have been like, it cost us $3 trillion to build a trolley in Los Angeles. And I was like, that's reasonable.
So now let's look at those three comparables in China. Okay? Tell me if this is propaganda. All right?
Okay.
The media in China, the Chinese government, heavy-handed, perhaps, involved.
Putting it lightly.
Perhaps.
Yes, I'll concede.
I don't know enough about their movies. I'm trying to
conceding.
Trying to become more familiar with their movies.
What about that movie China Salesman?
China Salesman is an incredible piece of propaganda.
Just to fill everybody in, the movie China Salesman, it stars, it doesn't really star.
No, but they're in it and they are top billed.
Mike Tyson is in it.
Mike Tyson fights Who?
Is it Steven
Seagal.
Mike Tyson fights Steven Seagal.
It's the whole reason we watched the movie. And guess what? That fight is awesome.
The fight is awesome, and it's like just a little part of it, and it's not even tangential to the plot.
Has nothing to do with the plot. Neither character really has anything to do with the movie. And it starts because they try to get Mike Tyson to drink piss. That's the only spoiler I will give away on that movie. So I don't know much about mainstream
But
Chinese
I will say
food.
the point of this movie, the plot of this movie, is that this Chinese dude, the star, action star, handsome, has to make a deal for his company. And the whole movie surrounds that. Like, our movies are like, oh, this person has to save their daughter.
Yes.
And that's what we think about family. They're like, no, company first, make this deal. And we're like,
Will go to any means to clinch the deal for his corporation.
and that's why they're winning right now.
Now, I understand that there's some things you could say about that. However, the way that they approach social media is admirable, in my opinion. Like the way that they have a separate, obviously they have a separate internet, but the way that their TikTok is very different than our TikTok for
Yeah.
children. That basically, if you're on Chinese TikTok, you're being fed people playing piano, people doing math, people playing chess. We are fed what? People shaking their ass and eating too much food, or just whatever's the most controversial?
Yeah. Well, that's what the algorithm does, and they control their algorithm. When we're just like, man, let it ride.
And you said this thing is something that happened last year, but the first I heard about it this week is that they have made it illegal to be an influencer in China. There's definitely a lot of consumerism and bad stuff on their influencer, whatever, but they have made it illegal to be an influencer in certain topics if you are not educated in that topic, legally educated, accredited.
That's really cool. I
mean-
would pass the bar because I was a history sociology major.
So you can go to China and keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly the Maya Muses channel, but nothing else.
So that, obviously, there are some problems, because I'm assuming that you don't get to become accredited in China unless you are Team China.
Probably.
However, I could see that copy-pasted here being like kind of good.
I don't know. Sometimes the experts make mistakes.
I know. In
Over
this,
the past 10 years, we've seen a lot of experts making mistakes. which
really,
actually-
like how?
We're not going to go into it, but that actually goes into why people want to be Chinese, because they can no longer trust their institutions to make good decisions for them.
Do you have a problem with self-identification or the way that COVID was handled?
I don't have a problem with anything in particular. However, we all know, wink, wink, that there have been mistakes by the institutions, whether we're talking about the press
Yeah.
or we're talking about the government.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the backlash. That's why we have Robert Kennedy in charge, why we have Trump in charge, the massive backlash against our institutional failure.
I understand that. However,
It used to be for like 10 years, you'd wake up every single morning and the institutions would have done something else to embarrass you.
okay, so that's point one. Bad, kind of bad, probably bad, but maybe better, maybe better. A little bit more respectable, in my opinion.
Conceding.
Second thing, that it feels as if in China, the commodification of every element of your life has been mitigated in a way, right? Like the way that they think about properties to be lived in. I understand that there is like a huge investment property problem in China, but I think the way that I've heard all their propagandists on my Instagram talk about it,
Propagandists wouldn't lie.
it's a little different.
Okay.
And remember, occasionally, some big businessman will defraud a bunch of people or put lead in some kind of toys that go out overseas.
Oh, yeah.
And they just pull a van up to his house and they shoot him in the head. I think that's really good.
You know what? That's the tar and feathering. They're kind of tar and feathering, and you can't have a problem with it. We're coming up on the 4th of July when the revolutionaries were like, we have standards. Standards that we have since forgotten, and so you can't technically have a problem with it. I'm still conceding here. I'm just pushing back a little.
It just feels like in China, the hierarchy goes, there's the people, then there's the businesses, and then there's the government.
But it's all one. They all move as one.
Right, but in America, it's the people, it's the government, and then it's the businesses. The
Yes.
business decides the government.
Don't you know that corporations are people?
I know, it's very silly.
It's funny because I like walk around a lot, and you go around to a lot of places, and I've never met a corporation like in the airport. But yet they're people, hey, man, that's what our laws
It's
decided.
an international embarrassment if you are a regular person in America.
You've wanted to be Chinese for a while, though.
I know, but this leads me to my third point.
Yes.
That you can't get anything done because the argument against that structure, that businesses need to be as autonomous and powerful and basically set policy like they do in America because that's how we are productive. But if you look at anything coming out of China, the way their cities look, the advancements they've made in a very short amount of time, they've pulled more people out of like water poverty.
Yeah.
Than faster, more efficiently than any culture in the human race.
We help them out a lot.
By giving them all of our money.
And jobs.
And jobs. By basically taking all of the jobs Americans used to do and just giving them to Chinese people, they were able to use that money to better their people. It feels like that's how, at least on paper, that's the way the system's designed. And they could do shit. Like we were just talking about that documentary, American Factory.
American Factory. That actually won Best Documentary Academy Award in 2020. Like, that's how good it was. It deserved it. But it was also an Obama picture, so they were probably like...
Yeah, it's extremely depressing.
If you haven't seen American Factory, it's basically like this Chinese company tries to open a factory in the United States and employ Americans.
It's as funny as it sounds.
And hilarity ensues.
Well, it's interesting because it comes down. The conflict in the documentary comes down to what we've been talking about, right? Where these Americans, the Chinese are running the company like a Chinese company. And the people don't appreciate they don't love unions. They don't love a lot of things that we would consider like, I think they work them a little harder than Americans used to be worked.
I need to push back on that because when we were at our peak, we had strong unions.
Sure.
So that's the difference. That's one fundamental difference between us and China is that this factory was a former GM factory in Ohio, outside Ohio. And when the United States was the strongest, the people were making more money.
Sure.
And we had strong unions.
Absolutely.
So they're doing it. The Chinese may be taking over, and we don't know. We're not conceding that, but they're doing it in a completely different way.
They are. Well, it seems like they skipped the union phase because my father was a union man. I support unions intellectually. I support unions. However, when you actually talk to somebody who is knowledgeable about the way that the automotive unions shot themselves in the leg in America, we couldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
The unions were so corrupt.
Well, the mob.
Yeah, the mob was involved. Jimmy Hoffa was involved.
Where is he, by the way?
But
we never found him. But yeah, even today, you look at the teachers union and you see how they're corrupt. Like these sort of bureaucratic systems. We go into it a lot, so we're not going to go through it right now. But they do destroy themselves, and yet we are pro-union.
Yes, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Isn't that odd? I don't know why I'm programmed that way, but
Because we are.
Yes.
We're going to leave that alone.
and in the documentary you see these people from, where is it? It's in Ohio.
Ohio.
It's like Rust Belt, America.
It's right outside Dayton.
Yeah, and they have these. Definitely watch the movie. It's like really, really enlightening. But they have a few representatives that are like top performers in the company or whatever. They're like not management, but they're leads. They send them to China to see their sister factory in China. And one of the guys cried. A grown man, like factory worker man, was like crying. He's like, there is no world where we are competitive with this.
And then they come here and they try to do it here, and too many people are disabled.
Yes, they are disabled.
They're obese, they're unable or unwilling to put in the work, and the Chinese workers get up every morning, they exercise.
Literally as a team, they have them exercising together. They have chants that they do while they labor away.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're able to do this while holding cigarettes in their mouths. But they're doing full-on calisthenics while smoking a pack of cigarettes in the morning.
It's fascinating.
And somehow our junk food is able to fuel them where it hurts us. I don't know if they have the same biology.
I don't understand it, but it's really impressive. And yeah, the conclusion is basically that China can't do business, which isn't true because I worked for, I can't say exactly what company, but I worked for a Chinese company in America that had a factory in America.
Yeah.
And that factory seemed to function pretty well, and I believe it is still functioning pretty well. So this type of factory maybe is different, whatever. I'm sure there are different cases all over the United States.
Look,
but this one in particular,
yeah.
this was a documentary set out just to chronicle the opening of this massive factory and compare it to its sister factory in China.
Yeah, I think they had a completely different vision of how this documentary was going to go.
I agree.
I think they thought it would be like, oh, this is great. This is like PR for the company. Isn't everybody going to like this at conferences? And it's like, no, now the Obamas have bought this as a warning to the people.
That's what it felt like because, yeah, the Obamas have been involved in a couple movies. One of them was this. The other one was Leave the World Behind.
Look, they're trying to tell us something. They don't want the Kennedy treatment, but they're still trying to tell us something. So props to the Obamas for that.
So I guess that's my third point, is China seems to be able to produce things and make things and work together for the betterment of the Chinese people.
That is actually so true. I'm following this person on Instagram, and he explains the Chinese manufacturing process and how they're able to, like, an influencer, for example, will have a bikini. And within a week, you can buy that bikini on Shein or Shine.
Sure.
You can buy that same bikini for like $15. And it's like, well, how did they turn this around? Because here, you need to go out and you need to get funding, and then you need to go and have all these pitch meetings, and then you have to get the factory and all these things to get a sample and da-da-da-da. And somehow over there, you're able to buy the product within a week. And he breaks it down of how they're actually organized to do this stuff so quickly. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's hard not to be susceptible to this Chinese propaganda.
It's there. I think they're paying for it, and I think the more you look at it, you're just like, why couldn't that be us? That could be us if we didn't do all these things, if we were just a little bit better. And the flip side of getting all the Chinese propaganda is getting all the anti-American propaganda.
Sure.
Which is like our teachers just literally ripping their hair out and sobbing and quitting and going to work as a barista because they can't stand the children anymore.
Right, and it's hard to kind of parse through what is propaganda and what is just like naturally what will do well on the internet. Like, people do want to see bad stuff. And in my experience, at least here where we have moved to rural New York, which is like a lot of the country, things are pretty good. But coming out of Los Angeles, things were not very good.
The cities are really hard right now. People have to admit that most people live in cities, and it's hard to live in cities. The rents are too high. The transportation is insane. The frustrations of people on top of each other. It's city life. I'm sorry, it's just not where it's at right now. But people are forced to live in cities for the jobs.
Right.
So if we could have gotten remote work off the ground, that would have been great, because people could go out and literally touch grass.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day. If you live in a city, you might not have access to grass to touch. And if you do, if there's a little patch of grass, it's covered in dog pee and needles.
Yes.
So you can't touch grass in a city.
Homeless people, probably just on the ground.
Well, that's in LA, but like every city, you're like, don't touch that grass, there's fentanyl on it.
And all that being said, you were susceptible to some Chinese propaganda that I saw today.
Oh, yeah, the Chinese fat camp. $1,000 for a month-long camp where they're going to give you your food, low-calorie food, and you can exercise all the time. Your only job is to not be fat. $1,000 for that?
It costs $1,000. In America, that is a $40,000 retreat.
Because they're only for rich people in America.
Right.
You don't get to go to fat camp unless you're super, super wealthy. Yeah, $40,000, that's a good number.
So,
I bet you it is cheaper to fly to China
100%.
and go to this camp and fly home, lose that much weight than it is to get on Ozempic or make the lifestyle change.
That is a documentary I would legitimately, like, even if we weren't recording this, I would really like to make that documentary. I bet that would be fascinating.
Like Ozempic versus flying to China and going to one of their fat camps. I may do this. You may get me in China to go to a fat camp.
I think it's a great idea.
For the people, don't jump down my throat. I just had a baby.
That's right.
The baby is tiny.
In case you don't know.
The baby is tiny, tiny.
But that baby wanted a lot of room.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it's young. It's a young baby.
It's a baby.
And it's a demanding baby.
8 weeks old.
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect.
little
She's
baby.
a little precious baby.
Yeah, she's mean.
So when we look at like the future of humanity and AI, I'm like, I can't help but think about which system I'd like to be in control of the AI. Because that's a big talking point from these demons, these
The tech oligarch
Jeff
demons.
Bezos and what was the other one? Kevin O'Leary. These demons.
Peter Thiel.
All of the demons.
Peter Thiel, who is not the Antichrist,
So he
says that
says.
the Antichrist is going to come and tell people to stop using AI.
All of them say we have to make this earth-shattering, society-destroying technology, or else the Chinese will do it.
The Chinese.
Either way, somebody's doing it, and honestly, I think the Chinese are better suited to control it in a way that will benefit people.
That I don't concede.
Why
That
not?
I don't. The three-body problem.
What about the three-body problem?
You remember the first few episodes of the three-body problem?
Oh, whatever.
Didn't look so good in China back then. Speaking of the three-body problem, that's about the Cultural Revolution.
Yeah.
Going through the Cultural Revolution.
The first episode of the three-body problem, it starts in the Cultural Revolution in China.
Yeah, and a lesson to that, in that social engineering doesn't really work. You have to let things happen from the bottom up, not the top down.
I don't know. It seems like things are going pretty well in China right now.
They seem to go pretty well, and then it kind of takes a nosedive. That one-child policy wasn't that great for them.
And you've also defended, by the way, you
Yes.
have also defended a social credit system to me privately.
We have a social credit system with a credit score. What do you think that is? Our entire society is focused around money, and it's about how you handle money. They want to have what we have. I didn't defend it. I just explained it. They want the social credit score, what we have with a credit score.
Right.
A credit score, if you really think about it, is weird as fuck.
It is bad. No, it's a terrible way to judge somebody's trustworthiness, I think, because you can tank your credit score by, not paying your credit card bills for long enough. But you may not be paying your credit card bills because you're paying rent, and then next time you have to go get an apartment, they'll go, oh, your credit score is horrible. Why is that not a separate system? That's ridiculous.
Well, we've also had I've had things sent to collection that I called up and I was like, wait a minute, why was this sent to collection?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, sorry about that. But I'm like, did you still send it to collection?
Right, did you just fuck my credit score up?
My credit score.
Oh my God, my credit score.
Oh, my credit score. And then I give them the money immediately and they apologize, but it's still, it's in collection. The credit score.
Insane.
So I've explained the credit score to you. And the problem is we're not far off. I make this point a lot, but the more we focus on machines, the more we have to become machines. Like bureaucracy, the more they force us to do paperwork, we can't just be like, man, I'm not doing that. No, you're going to do this paperwork. And you're going to do it the way they want you to do it. I'm not use self-checkout. Yes, you are. But you're not going to eat. And then you use self-checkout.
Well, it's happening. So that's the thing that, like, I feel like would be in a dystopian future around, like, oh, this is what China leads to. But it's like, we're doing it to ourselves.
We're doing it to ourselves. It's
through
funny.
capitalism, so that few people can get very rich.
It's funny because top down or bottom up, it seems to wind up at the same place. Nevertheless, I'm not going to go full in on China right now. I'm not going to go full China maxing. I'll China min.
Maybe I'll cut this out, but if you've ever tried to take the train or the subway in Los Angeles,
Yes.
can you tell me whether your life would be better or worse if there was a social credit score and that certain elements of the people on the train weren't allowed to get on the train because they don't have a very high social credit score?
I used to take the train in Los Angeles all the time because it's a beautiful new system, with a newish system compared to Boston. But going on every single time there was a problem with a meth head or some kind of drug addict, or
somebody jerking off next to you.
That time that someone was jerking off next to me, yeah.
I feel
that
like
was
that
bad.
I feel like they would have
That was scary.
I feel like all those problem people would have relatively low social credit scores and probably couldn't get into the train.
I don't know what would happen with them in China.
There is not a
I don't
capitalist
know.
answer. There is not an American capitalist answer to that problem.
Well, we used to have mental institutions.
Right.
We used
did.
to have them. Look, I don't know how China would deal with those people, but I don't think it would be very kind. I think we would simply not see them and not ask any questions.
So the American the American capitalist answer is to just let them live in filth and basically make the cities as miserable as possible for people trying to live in the city so that they can work.
Well, LA is different because you have the homeless industrial complex, which is a real thing, where a lot of bureaucrats get paid off people who are homeless.
Right.
And then you have people shipping people to Los Angeles, people shipping drug addicts to Los Angeles to use them for a system. So they get paid off of the rehab.
That's part of the, I mean, that's an offshoot of the
grift.
homelessness
Yeah.
Industrial complex. That's the drug addict industrial complex.
Well, the drug addicts are the problem.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Most of the homeless people are in one way or another drug addicts.
And they wouldn't tolerate that in China.
No, they would not.
Yeah. So, look, I'm going to wait and see. I see this as a Chinese psyop. And I'm just going to go back to basic instincts and be like, no, defend your tribe. Defend the tribe. I don't care what's going on. Defend the tribe. Tribe is America. 250 years. Fucking bald eagle.
I'd like to go to China and make that documentary.
I want to go to China and
anybody
go to
knows.
that fat camp.
Yes, and I would like to do that for China, show people how great China is.
Yeah. Let's fund a documentary. People in the comments, put your money where your mouth is. Okay, so we fund a documentary of China fat camp versus American Ozempic. See which one wins.
Love it.